Hey AGDQ crew, my name is Ryudo, or Jamal, and I want to present to you today a elevator action returns speedrun, but not just a speedrun in itself, but a race for AGDQ 2025. What we want to do is have all three world record holders for each character of the game presented here: Cart, Eddie, and Jad, or in order. We have Captain Gordon, the opponent, and myself playing each character as part of this race. Many new discoveries have been made over the past 2 years, since the last time it was shown on AGDQ by the opponent, and the last time I played it on the hotfix Juneteenth about 2 years ago as well. While this is a very snappy game, we've reduced the overall record time for each character from anywhere from 30 seconds to up to a minute in some cases. While there's RNG elements in the game itself, nothing's really ever game stopping or anything like that. The risk reward would be really at the core of this race here, not just who has the fastest character, the bestest techniques or anything like that, and all the records are within a minute of one another, so this should remain competitive the entire time. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and move it to the run as I walk you through elevator action returns. As I mentioned, there was a lot of changes in the run in the past 2 years or so, and the first change that is pretty major is that we are playing on the player 2 side. So on the player 1 side, you start a little bit more to the left. On the player 2 side, you start a little bit more on the right on every stage. It doesn't matter as much due to elevator cycles generally, but being on the right side does change mission 1 and mission 3. As I'll show you mission 1 right here and the changes around with that. The first thing we're going to do is dash onto the elevator. This sets up a very specific timing and new setup that now, while no world record run has gotten used as quite yet, you can see that bottom right elevator about to move now. And with that, we should be able to catch it if we are fast enough. There we go. And it allows us to get ourselves a def warp here, going down to the door here. This is slightly faster than any prior one we've had so far on the world record. With this, the building explodes, and we take a very specific path through this next area, where we take our elevator down all the way here, jump through the little gap in the wall, and then move on to this door right here. Then we drop down right here, we grab this, the elevator meets us down at the bottom here, and we finish off the stage very cleanly. I'm glad that went very well. So on the second stage, not a whole lot has changed. We've just tightened up our abilities around fighting the enemies on the stage here when we get to the mini boss in the middle, as you'll see very soon. But we go ahead and take this elevator down here, off to the left here, and just keep on running with, this case, my character Jad. Since that guy's in the way, we just want to jump over him and the elevator. And we'll get to this middle section here where we have a slightly different setup this time, where we actually stand more in the middle so that these characters jump into the fire more often. And it gives us time to be able to switch between the two sides. And the enemies from the bottom will spawn a little bit more quickly overall, because you're waiting in the middle and they don't have to cross the entire screen to get to you to spawn. But you know, it's a very soft science. You can only actually finish this area so fast due to the limitations within the game itself. And then we'll just let that guy land on the bomb. We'll move over to the right here. And then we have a very specific position that we do on the airplane now. We're right about here. The enemies on your left side will just leave the screen. And on the right, you can spin all your bullets to the right side of the screen, you know, destroying all the enemies that come in from that side. Keeps it very easy. It kind of finishes off the enemies very quickly. And then we wait for the red guy here to come in, where we throw 3 bombs. Airplane explodes, and we try to go for the airwalk here. And if you miss it, not too big of a deal. There's a secondary skip here that you might be able to make. It's very hard to do that. And if not, it's not like it's a run-ending thing anyway. You'll be able to catch it right there and catch the elevator from down here. You want to jump up the elevator right there. And just kind of bide your time right here. And you might have seen it a little bit earlier where the elevator was taken down by another enemy. That elevator I just took right there. It's sometimes a nice thing if it's able to happen when you're on your way to the actual elevator, one of those RNG elements I spoke a little bit about earlier, but once again, not a make or break, it's just more of a nicety of things that do happen. So you go ahead and mash through here with the very nice man in red. That's a nice suit. And then we go ahead and move into the third mission where things do change a little bit, where I will spend the first 2 bits walking, where we're trying to set up another very specific timing for an elevator up top here. And again, it's not run ending if you miss it, but it's a very huge thing if you're trying to go for the world record. So I was a little bit off there. Not that big of a deal. You just wait till you're at the bottom, wait for that elevator at the top left to go up, and you can continue the run from there. The elevator will come back down, and then you just jump it up from here, and then take a death here. Go ahead and take this elevator down. Do a little jig on the elevator. You got plenty of time. Make those legs work. And just run your way through here. Again, it only matters so much just because this elevator cycle here really depends on, you know, doesn't really change that heavily unless there's an extra enemy that spawns on that second floor where this guy just hopped onto. But otherwise, it's not like it's any heavily slow or anything like that. Just because how the cycles work and everything like that. If you miss one cycle here or there, it's not the worst thing in the world necessarily. So you take this elevator up here and do a little bit of a shooting gallery aspect. Ow. On them, not me. What the why they shoot me like that? This game is funny sometimes. Oh, this guy took the elevator down. A lot of goofy things are happening today. You get the special crash course of elevator action returns today here, GDQ crew. There's things I'm not even seeing that's happening out here, and I love that for me. Because once again, this is a very... You kind of know the general gist of the game, sure, and everything like that. But not everything will always go perfectly. I'm definitely taking that hit there because I want to make sure I grab this elevator. I'm going to actually go to my right here, take this elevator up here, just because I'm a little bit on a different cycle. I'm going to get myself a burger to get myself a little bit of health up. So what I'm doing here is I'm waiting for that top left elevator to go up, and once it does, I'll also go up. This sets up some timings for the rest of the stage. So I'll be able to jump on this elevator here. Throw this bomb here to destroy every enemy on this floor. We're going to jump this elevator up as well. Hopefully that guy at the top takes it. If he doesn't, not a big deal. Just a nice little bonus if he does. Wait a little bit for this elevator to come down here. And then jump over here to this elevator. And so we have a new setup here. We have multiple different setups depending on every character and player as well. My new setup here is waiting closer to the middle and at the bottom. Where I will... I was hoping that would not happen. I'm going to have to actually walk past these barrels here. Because I want to be able to keep these fires on the top and get myself back to the bottom while destroying this light here. Because the enemies die just a little bit faster if you go ahead and explode that light box at the right there. So it's a nice little thing to have there. And these enemies are very unique in the sense of, like, if they're trying to shoot you, they run out of invincibility on their attack or on their hit. So you want to try to get them into a place where they want to attack you over and over and over again, so you can shoot them multiple times like that. So it's a very specific setup right there. Grab a burger for good luck. Just something I do every Tuesday. So as we get to the stage here, there's a very similar to the original setup to catch an elevator. You don't have to rush this part way too fast. You can take a death here if you need to as a backup. But ultimately, I have full health. I should be fully set up. It's a very tight setup here. If I can get it, great. If I can't, once again, not too big of a deal. You hop into this door here. You hop into back to this elevator. And if everything's good, you can hop up there. Heck yeah. Getting those Air Jordans on. Looking very good right now, Chad. You throw a bomb up here to destroy every enemy so they don't shoot you on your way to this door. The rest of the stage should be set up just perfectly. Where you can catch this elevator just barely. There's burgers everywhere. What is happening here? Everyone's going out to eat and I'm not invited. They can see why I'm so mad at them now. We'll have to stop their plans. You throw a bomb against this wall here so it explodes immediately. So that way it helps out a little bit in the aspect of... making sure all the enemies in that room do take a hit and do not slow you down or try to shoot you back. You delay out this door just a little bit, otherwise that guy will shoot you if you try to leave as soon as possible and make that jump. Shoot you out of midair and will be able to end your life, and you get spawned back to the bottom. But otherwise, you can cleanly take those jumps on the top there and finish the stage very easily. So at this part here, you have to make sure that you have enough life from the last stage. If you don't, then you do have to take a death before you reach a certain part of the stage. But since I have enough health, I should be able to do the skips just fine. You want to make sure you run off this elevator just barely. There's a specific setup that has been discovered here as well. As they start doing that, you jump on. You jump from the wall over to there. And you can jump on the elevator as it's coming up. And you don't accidentally have to miss it or anything like that. Uh-oh. That guy's going to shoot me. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. What we basically did right there is just keep the screen scrolled in a very specific way. So we didn't lose track of the elevators here. So that way I can go ahead and take this. Oh, what are you doing? And sometimes the game will just do funny stuff like that. Once again, nothing's really run ending. It's all about the flexibility of what you know in the game mechanics. And we're always discovering new stuff as a result, because sometimes there are some aspects where going slower makes a few things happen and lets you go a little bit faster. So I'll hop onto there, get onto this elevator here. We just keep moving. So we have a soft strat coming up here where we haven't figured out the exact sciences behind it quite yet, but we have been experimenting with it. Well, never mind. The screen just scrolled. Once again, a lot of not RNG, but things that can happen with the game as well. It just kind of is what it is. You just stay flexible with the game. I want to throw that right there to be able to destroy that guy there. It looks like actually it worked out in my favor anyway, because this elevator is staying up just long enough. And then hopefully this guy takes a shot. There we go. So we can skip that part there. There's a myriad of taking that whole thing on. I'm going to try not to take a death here. I just realized how low of health I am. Once again, flexibility is always the key. The better you can keep moving, the better. Don't mind me. It's A-okay. This is the runner's curse that you need in your GDQ lineup. Wait a little bit here for this guy to come down. And then we'll make our run over there. See if I can make the jump over that guy. Cannot. Unfortunate. But hey, that's alright. This game still moves at a very good clip. So go ahead and finish stage 5 here. And we move on to the final mission. So we took a quick fall here while we still have invincibility. And we want to jump the elevator back up as well. Ideally. Marginal, just gets the elevator back down a little bit faster. And the difference, again, that we have from the last 2 years is that we want to take this first elevator down. Now, it might seem like, well, why would you not take the first elevator down of these 3 elevators? That seems like that would be the fastest. We thought that, too, for the longest time. But it actually turns out that we thought, well, going to the final elevator gets a perfect setup and gets you closer to the door a little bit safer that you need to go to anyway. And there's also some random enemies that can spawn on this side that can be a pain in the butt. But we found out just throwing out 2 grenades here stops everything and gets you the perfect pacing across the way. So if anyone does spawn on that second floor where I threw that first bomb, case in point, they can run into that bomb and will not screw up the elevator cycles. And it makes this cycle here that I just jumped onto a lot easier. So we'll go ahead and catch this elevator here. We're actually going to take a death here as well, just to make sure that we have full health for the next section. You know, just to make sure that everything still stays a little bit smooth. Gonna make sure I don't take a hit from that, but I will take this death here. And we'll go ahead and get that. Ow. And wait for the elevator here. Ooh, unfortunate, but not the end of the world. I'm gonna take this hit here, just to be safe. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do the other skip, so I'm gonna take the hit there. Make sure that nothing gets screwed up. I'm going to shoot a few of those there just for safety's sake. Jump up here. We're going to scroll it up 1. There's a soft science there as well that we can also do, but we haven't figured it out quite yet, and I'm not going to show it off quite right now until we actually do figure it out. Going to throw a bomb here just to keep things safe. Going to throw that there. Keep the enemies from attacking. Make sure I stop these guys here. Wait half a second to make sure that elevator goes up to the top right. I might not be able to get that. Oh, never mind. I'm kind of sick with it. All right, so what we want to do here is we're going to shoot a rocket up here, and we're going to shoot another rocket up here again. Then we're going to shoot a rocket, well, generally, at the guy in red. What happens is that we're able to destroy his bullets with our rockets, and so by doing that and hitting the wall a little bit early, we will be able to actually hit the wall, hit him at the same time, destroy the bullets, and keep ourselves safe at the same time. But the approach itself, the approach shot itself can be a little bit difficult, as we saw there. But nonetheless, with all goofiness aside and whatever quote-unquote non-focus aside as well, this is still a very quick, high-paced game that can be very competitive in this run as we explain everything. We pull ourselves away to eat some jelly beans as well amidst everything. But what do you mean, jelly beans? So, as an incentive of this race, and one thing that we're going to be doing for MagFest later on in January, is that every $24, we're going to have all of us eat one of those every flavor jelly beans, just grab it and pop it into our mouths. As you probably realize, there's very little downtime in the game, and this will require us to immediately take the bean into the face. Why $24? Well, of course, that's the day that Mr. Bean's Holiday released in the US, August 24th. Also, it's just a lot easier to track anyway. But again, this is a snappy run. It's a very intense run. So having something that forces us to take our hands off the controller for even a second can be detrimental to the race and add a little bit more excitement and evenness to the race, alongside with making some stinky faces along the way as well. But with that mean bean eating machinery happening along the way there, thank you for watching the run. I greatly appreciate it. I'm a moderator on the Elevator Action Returns board, the world record holder of JAD as well. I've written an extensive guide on this game, and I've even made a video showing the progression between my first world record run and this current world record run that I have now. We love this game. We want to share it with more people, and we want to do it in the most fun and entertaining ways as possible, while especially doing good for charity along the way too. But seriously, thank you again. Ryudo out.
Why do you like this?